In this movie, we're going to take a look at sweeps and reveals. Sweeps and reveals allow us to take 3D geometry and move it along the length or the height of the wall. A sweep will add to the mass of the wall, and a reveal will carve away from it. We can add both of these at the type level, in which case you would modify the wall type and it would apply to all instances of that type, or we can add them individually wall by wall. So I'll look at both examples here in this movie. So I'm going to select one of these exterior walls, and I'm going to start with a type-based wall sweep. Now, to set that up, we're going to click the Edit Type button here, and that will bring up the type properties. And then I'm going to click the Edit Structure button. Now, previously we've been in here and we've been working with the layer structure. Down here at the bottom, you can see a series of buttons that are all grayed out, and we've got a Sweeps button and a Reveals button. Well, how do we get to those buttons? Well, the little clue is right here. It says Section Preview Only. So in order to use these buttons, you have to first turn on the preview. Let me just adjust this so it's on the screen here. And then make sure that this is not a floor plan. Make sure that it's a section. So notice that when this says section, these two buttons will light up. Now, the basic steps of adding either a sweep or reveal are nearly the same. So for the first example, I'm going to do a sweep, but you could do exactly the same thing for a reveal. You'll get a list of sweeps that are already in here. At the moment, I don't have any, so I'll click the Add button here, and that will add my first sweep. Now, it's always a good idea to kind of make sure that you can see the preview here in the background, because as you work, you'll be able to click the Apply button. So with the default sweep, it's just a simple rectangle that appears down at the bottom of the wall. If I open up this profile dropdown, you can see that there's only one other choice available. Now, a profile is a simple 2D family that just defines a shape, and then that shape is going to be used by the sweep to push material all the way along the length of the wall. Well, fortunately, there's a Load Profile button here, so we don't have to cancel all the way out to go load a profile. So let me go to my metric library. There's a Profiles folder, and then in here is a Walls folder. So I'm going to pick this Wall Sweep Brick Soldier Course profile and open that up. Now, when I open up the profile list, that will have actually loaded in 3 different profiles. So I'm going to choose the Soldier Course 2 Bricks profile. Now, next to that is Material. And if I click in there, I've got my Browse button, and that takes me to the Material Browser. Now, if I come up here and I type the word Soldier, you're going to see that nothing appears. So I'm going to cancel that search, and I'm going to take my existing brick common material here and duplicate it. And then once it's duplicated, I'll rename that to Soldier Course. Now, at the moment, it's just a copy of brick with a standard brick pattern. What I want to do is click on that pattern there, and I'm going to choose this 75 millimeter vertical pattern instead. And that's going to give it vertical lines so it looks more like a Soldier Course. Now, that'll be fine for any of the hidden line or shaded views. But if I also want it to look like a Soldier Course in rendering, I need to go to the Appearance tab as well. Now, over here at the top, there's a little icon that says Replace this asset. These images that you see here are considered assets. So when I click that, that will load up the asset browser. Now here I can type Soldier, and when I do, it will find a Soldier Course asset that we can use. And if you highlight it, there's this small little icon right here that will replace the current asset with a Soldier Course pattern. I'll close the asset browser, make sure that this is selected, click OK, and now it's applied that new brick Soldier Course to my profile. Now, the distance is how far up the wall it goes. Now, it's currently measured from the base, but it could also be measured from the top. So I'm just going to click in here and decide how far up the wall I want this to go. Maybe 3,000 millimeters. Let's click Apply and see what that does. So you can see now that it stretches it out to the shape of that Soldier Course and it moves it up. And as you can see, I've got to shift it in a little bit. So that's where this offset field comes from. A positive number will move it away from the wall and a negative number will push it into the wall. So let's try -90. And that kind of pushes it into the wall. And that looks like it did the trick. So let's go ahead and do one last thing. Let's check this box, which makes it cuttable. In other words, if a door or a window intersects this Soldier Course, it will actually cut through it. And in fact, if we want to see that, we might want to lower it just a little bit. So why don't I try 2,000 here and click Apply. Let's click OK and then OK again. And because this is a type level modification, what you're going to see is that soldier course is occurring on every instance of this wall, all the way around the entire model. Because I just made it cuttable, you can see that the doors and windows are actually cutting through it. Now, the only place that you might want to adjust is that soldier actually appears up on this small wall up here. So to fix that, you could just simply select this wall, edit type, duplicate, and remove the sweep. And I'll leave that to you as an exercise. Now, both sweeps and reveals can be added individually wall by wall as well. So instead of going to edit type this time, what you would do is come over to architecture and click this drop down here. This would give you access to the wall sweep and the wall reveal command. Well, since we've already done a sweep at the type level, let's do a reveal here at the instance level. So I'm going to choose that, and I'm not going to actually make any changes to the reveal, but if you wanted to, you could. You could go to edit type, you could choose a different profile, setback, what have you. I'm going to accept all the defaults, and I'm simply going to click on one of the existing walls to place that reveal. You're actually able to click on more than one wall and create a multi-segment reveal, and I could spin around and click this way. And then when you're done, you can simply click this restart reveal and it will complete that one. Let's zoom in on it. And you can see that that is actually carved away from the brick and made sort of a void. Now, it's actually possible to place these horizontally or vertically. So if I wanted, I could create one vertically here. Let's do restart. Maybe try one here, restart. Maybe try another one here, and so on. So feel free to keep working on this and experimenting with adding sweeps and reveals to further refine the design of the exterior skin of the building. The nice thing is that both sweeps and reveals use essentially the same methodology, and they use the same profiles, shapes, and materials. So it's pretty easy to flip from one to the other using the same techniques.